there, and thank you so much for taking time watching this video. So in today's video, I'll be tackling one of the most popular topics among software engineers and people just looking into breaking through into tech, and that is programming languages, as they are essentially the building blocks of the applications that we get to build and use and love. So I'll talk about my experience as a software engineer, as I believe that getting the street credentials out there so that we all know from what context I am speaking from, and then we'll talk about the popular programming languages that I've gotten to use and also experience as I've seen other teams work on them, and also had the chance to integrate into. So, and then lastly we'll talk about just general advice and my 2 cents on picking a language as it influences the job, the kind of work you do, and maybe even the company you get into to a certain extent. So I am Bonang Mokhatusi, and I'm a software engineer, a developer evangelist, and a low-code enthusiast. And I have been coding for the last 5 years, and I started off my career at the Turquoise Bank as a C# developer. So as a C# developer, I did front end. I was working on the FirstRand Jobs website back then, and on there my role was to do the front end for it and do the web services, and also web services that integrate to the Oracle and also read from that database. So that was and I had to learn on the job because I was not good at coding. So yes, so C# was my uptake of it was quite quick, and I became quite good at it, and it was easy to do, and I was there for like 2 years, and I was just coding daily using C#, and that was about it. And then when the time came for me to leave my first company and go into spread my wings, I went into a company called Meditech, which is a medical information system company. And my transition into that company, a lot of people warned me against doing that, as they were using an in-house language, a proprietary language, as they say, which is a language that is not like C# that you can Google, or Java or Python. It's more of a language that only is done in that company, which was an interesting, and people are like, no, because I've already had 2 years experience in C#. So me going to change and do an in-house was more of like career suicide in people's eyes, as because should things not work at Meditech, I would come out as a junior and start all over as a C# developer, essentially. So learning an in-house language is hard, I must say, because you don't have the community, you don't have Stack Overflow, and even now like ChatGPT, you won't be able to use it on in-house languages. So that is a downside, but I went into that because essentially being a software engineer is not about languages. Actually, it's also about solving problems, and I really was passionate about like healthcare, and with the state of our healthcare, it was a passion of mine, and to see how things work on that side. So it was really interesting to to code with using different modules, from admissions to lab results to dispensing of pharmacy medication, and those kind of things was really interesting, and learning how patient files work. But unfortunately, I didn't stay long there. I stayed for a year, 10 months, so almost 2 years as well. And it was hard getting a job because of this in-house language that nobody has heard of. It was called Magic or Dollar-T. So it was really hard getting another job, but fortunately I got a job. So I moved into, I'm now at this Easy Zebra. So I'm at the Zebra Bank, and there I joined as a C# developer, I guess called C# developer. And yeah, there it has been interesting, as I think the more experience that you get and the more you get to work with different programming languages and applications and building different things, you get to know what you like. Do you like front-end development? Do you like integrations? Do you like back-end thing? But yeah, so going in there, I had told them that I do not like front-end development, but I ended up doing a little bit of front-end when I joined, and then ended up doing back-end, and now I've transitioned into the low-code space, but still being a traditional developer, but leveraging the Power Platform and Dynamics 365 applications from Microsoft. So that has been my journey as a software engineer, and to get to where I am today. So those are the different languages that I've worked with and tools. So who's my goat? I've seen at FNB, I was a C# developer, but they heavily on Java. So that's why I'm like, sometimes you can learn, like we can both coexist in one company. So my take, I like C#. I feel like the errors are better. I've played around with Java just for training. I went to Java training, and I was like, what the hell? C# is so easier. The errors are understandable. The community is big, and like I said, with in-house it was very difficult, because the only people with knowledge is the people within the company, and so that was hard. And so my take, C# has been my favorite thus far, and I think I'll be a C# through and through. And speaking about C#, Microsoft has partnered up with FreeCodeCamp to give free certification of C#. So do look at that, and it has a challenge, and it's cool learning with Microsoft, because there's badges, and you can show off your badge and your complete accomplishment and achievement, I guess, on LinkedIn, and have that to validate your experience with C#, and also learn the syntax and the things behind it and how it works. And so, but I haven't played around with Python. I've seen it from a distance. So please, people using Python, don't kill me. But yeah, I have never worked with Python. I've just seen it from a distance. Apparently it's good and it's easy. So if there's your cup of tea, go for it. And so my advice, let me just get to it. My advice on choosing programming languages is, don't get married to a language. Do not do that, because like I said, people told me that it will be hard for me to find a job, but it was hard, but I didn't join in as a junior, because the principles of software engineering I know how to problem solve. I know how to write good and clean code. I know how version control works, things like that. So that is language agnostic. So don't get married to a language. Yes, it's important to have a language because it builds that credibility that you are good at this, and like when you are trying to do everything. So that's where I lost a lot of points in my career, where I was just jumping from language to language and I was never good at something. So uh, being an expert in a language is also quite good because you don't get to lose credibility, but don't get married to a language. And also, coding is for solving the problem. So if it means the problem can be solved without any code, then that's good. Let's not rush to just flex out using tuples and all the cool stuff that is embedded in these languages. Let's always remember that we are solving problems, and if solving the problem means that it is no code, or we get to use an existing module from another company, let us use APIs, let us do that and integrate it, because now what we see with APIs, they seamlessly integrate amongst each other regardless of languages. So my suggestion is, when looking for a programming language, also find out if you want to be a game developer, because I believe game developers don't use the same languages as corporate bodies. So find out what you want to do. If you want to do games, you want to do applications, find out, and maybe that could be your thing. But don't just learn a language so that you know syntax and the concepts of or object oriented programming or procedural programming or whatever. Do learn the language, but don't get married, and also find out your dream companies and see what's their tech stack looking like. Maybe that can be the one that motivates you to choose a language. But like I said, as somebody who has also traveled the world, and so as a solo traveler, I communicating a like languages, it's still, whether it's a programming language or a spoken language, you can understand. And so whether you know C#, you will be able to understand and read code or ask questions on Java or Python or whatever language is there out there. So I hope this has been helpful, and if you feel I've missed out on certain parts, or you want advice on something, drop me a comment. Or also, if you want to tell me or you disagree with some of the things I'm saying, do also let me know. That would be an interesting discussion. Otherwise, thank you for making it this far, and see you in the next video. Bye.